In today's world, the rules have completely changed. A degree is no longer the golden ticket it used to be. What actually determines your income, your freedom, and your opportunities is the skill set you bring to the table. Skills are practical, they solve problems, they create value instantly. A degree, on the other hand, is a piece of paper that might open a door, but it doesn't guarantee you can perform once you walk through it. Look at the real world for a moment. Businesses don't care where you studied, they care whether you can get results. If you can bring customers, edit videos, run ads, close deals, design websites, or create content, you are worth something right now. A CEO won't ask to see your diploma if you can make their company an extra $50,000 this month. They will pay you more than any entry-level job ever will. Skills are powerful because they are measurable. You either can do the job or you can't, and that clarity gives you leverage. With skills, you're not trapped waiting for someone else to validate you. You don't need a professor's approval, or an institution's stamp, or permission from society. You can learn and execute independently. Platforms like YouTube, online courses, free tutorials, and practice give you everything you need to become dangerously good at something valuable. Skills give you the freedom to build your own income streams instead of begging for opportunities. Degrees also age fast. Technology changes, industries shift, and entire job categories disappear. But when you commit to developing skills, you stay adaptable. You can evolve with the market. You can switch paths, upgrade your abilities, or stack new skills on top of existing ones to multiply your value. A degree is static, a skill is dynamic, and here's the truth nobody tells you. People with valuable skills write their own paychecks. If you can solve valuable problems, you never run out of work. You never have to fear being replaced. You never feel stuck. Skills give you control, confidence, and financial power, the kind that no university can give. In this era, the marketplace rewards problem solvers, not paper holders. If you want to make real money, build real freedom, and create a life you're proud of, stop focusing on titles and start focusing on mastery. Skills will take you further than any degree ever could, and they'll get you there faster. Talent is one of the most overrated concepts in the world. People fall in love with the idea of being naturally gifted because it gives them an excuse. It lets them say, "I'm not talented enough," so they don't have to try. But the truth is brutally simple. Consistency destroys talent when talent refuses to show up. The person who shows up every single day, even when they're tired, unmotivated, or unsure, will always outrun the person who only works when they feel inspired. Think about anyone you admire: entrepreneurs, athletes, creators, artists. People look at them and say, they were born with it. No, they built it. Skill is the product of repetition. Discipline is the product of routine. Confidence is the product of keeping promises to yourself over and over again. The people who win didn't wake up great, they became great because they did small, boring, unsexy actions thousands of times until those actions turned into mastery. Consistency is powerful because it compounds. You might not see the results today, tomorrow, or next week, but every day you show up, you're stacking bricks. One day you look back and realize you built a wall. Most people quit long before the wall is even visible. That's why so few ever achieve anything remarkable. They want fast results, they want shortcuts, they want motivation to carry them. But consistency isn't built on motivation, it's built on commitment. Motivation gets you started, but consistency gets you finished. The talented person relies on their natural ability. The consistent person relies on their habits, and habits, once formed, require no motivation at all. When something becomes a habit, it becomes automatic. You don't have to force yourself to do it, it becomes part of who you are. That's why consistency wins. It transforms effort into identity. You don't just practice, you become the kind of person who practices. You don't just work hard, you become the kind of person who works hard. That identity is far more powerful than talent. Another reason consistency beats talent is because consistency builds resilience. When you show up every day, you learn what failure feels like, and you learn that failure doesn't kill you. You learn to adjust, improve, and try again. Talented people often crumble the moment things get hard because they've never built the muscle of persistence. They're used to things coming easy. When they finally hit resistance, they panic. But the consistent person, they've been dealing with resistance from day one. Struggle doesn't scare them, it's familiar. It's part of the process. Consistency also separates you from the crowd because most people simply can't maintain it. Everyone wants the reward, but only a tiny percentage are willing to show up day after day when nobody is clapping, nobody is watching, and nobody cares yet. Those early days are where consistency is forged. You do the work when the results are invisible. You grind when it feels like nothing is happening. You keep going even when self-doubt whispers that you're wasting your time. And then eventually, the results start to appear slowly at first, then all at once. People see your success and call you talented. They don't realize they're looking at thousands of invisible repetitions they never saw. Consistency also gives you another advantage: experience. Talent without experience is fragile. Consistency creates wisdom, intuition, and depth. You learn what works. You learn what doesn't. You learn how to pivot. You learn how to stay calm under pressure. You gain the type of experience that no amount of natural ability can replace. Experience is earned, and it comes only from showing up repeatedly, especially when things go wrong. At its core, consistency isn't just about working hard. It's about choosing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. It's about mastering your emotions instead of being controlled by them. It's about doing the right thing even when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the amateurs from the professionals. Professionals are consistent. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it through action. In life, talent might give you a head start, but consistency determines who crosses the finish line. Even the most gifted person in the world will be overtaken by someone who simply refuses to quit. If you want to become unstoppable, train yourself to show up. Train yourself to be consistent, not perfect. Not extraordinary, just consistent. Because the person who shows up every day, even imperfectly, will always outperform the person who shows up once in a while with perfection. Consistency is the real superpower. And anyone can develop it, including you. Your environment is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life, and most people never realize it. You can have big dreams, strong ambitions, even incredible talent, but if you're surrounded by the wrong people, the wrong habits, and the wrong energy, your potential gets suffocated before it ever has a chance to grow. Human beings are influenced creatures. We become what we repeatedly see, hear, and feel. That means your environment is not just around you, it becomes a part of you. Look at how your thinking changes depending on who you spend time with. Sit with people who complain all day, and soon you'll find yourself complaining too. Hang out with people who gossip, and eventually you'll participate in the same negativity. Surround yourself with people who are lazy, unmotivated, and comfortable with mediocrity, and your standards slowly fall without you even noticing. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to the level of your environment. That's why some people stay stuck in the same place for years, not because they're weak, but because they're surrounded by influences that encourage staying stuck. On the flip side, when you put yourself around winners, everything changes. When you watch people chase their goals, discipline becomes normal. When you see your friends start businesses, fitness challenges, or new projects, you feel inspired to level up. When everyone around you is growing, improving, and pushing themselves, you naturally start adopting those same behaviors. The environment pulls you up without effort. You don't need to force yourself to act differently, you change because the people around you set a new standard of what's normal. Your environment also includes the content you consume. Most people underestimate how much their online environment affects their mindset. If you constantly consume drama, trends, and pointless entertainment, your mind becomes cluttered with noise. You waste time, you lose focus, and you drift further from your goals without realizing it. But when you fill your digital environment with educational videos, motivational speeches, high-level advice, and people who inspire you, your mindset sharpens, you start thinking bigger, you start believing more, you start acting with purpose. Even if you don't know successful people in real life, you can surround yourself with them virtually, and it changes everything. Another part of your environment is your physical space. A messy room creates a messy mind. A cluttered desk leads to cluttered thinking. When your physical environment is chaotic, it becomes harder to focus, harder to stay motivated, and harder to be disciplined. Clean spaces create clarity. Organized environments create productivity. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about creating a space that supports who you want to become, not who you used to be. The truth is, your environment either feeds your potential or starves it. And you must make conscious choices about what you allow around you. Sometimes that means distancing yourself from friends who hold you back, not because you're better than them, but because you owe yourself a chance to grow. Sometimes it means saying no to distractions, even if everyone else is indulging in them. Sometimes it means choosing solitude over company so you can realign your priorities. Growth requires boundaries, and boundaries require courage. But once you take control of your environment, your entire life shifts. Your energy improves, your focus intensifies, your standards rise. Opportunities appear because you finally have the mindset to recognize them. You start becoming the person you always knew you could be, not because you changed everything overnight, but because you changed the environment that shaped everything. You don't need a new life, you need a new environment. Because when you change what's around you, you change what's within you. And when you control your environment, you take control of your outcome.